So welcome back to my channel. Today I'd like to talk about the neem oil and how to use it in your garden. I've used the neem oil severally and I'm so happy with it. So let's talk about it, and then you too can actually go and get yourself neem oil and use it as a pesticide. So you too can also use the neem oil as a pesticide because it is non-toxic and it is an organic pesticide. So welcome back to my channel. My name is Alice. I'm the Red Soil Gardener. Let's talk more about the neem oil as a pesticide. In every home in Kenya is that in your garden you always have a neem tree. I mean, it's just been there all the time. Now the thing about the neem tree is it originally comes from India. Now what they usually use to extract is actually the fruit. From the fruit they extract the oil, a bit like olive oil, but they extract the oil, and that is what you're going to mix and then use as a pesticide. Now the thing is that also the beauty about using neem oil as a pesticide, it is non-toxic to your pets. And then the second thing is that it doesn't affect pollinators like butterflies, so you're in a good place when you do use the neem oil. Now the active component in neem oil, what it does do, it does act as a repellent and a pesticide. So one of the things it does, like as a fungicide, is that it does actually kill the spores so that and prevents the spores from getting into the plant tissue and actually killing the plant, as we've seen in one of our episodes on the canna lily rust. The other thing it does is that it actually reduces the feeding habits of these pests, and so eventually what happens is that it does get rid of the pests. And then the other thing, what it does once you do spray this neem oil on your mealybugs, as we've seen before in previous episodes, or on white flies or spider mites, is that the pests absorb it, and then it actually suffocates these pests. In that way you prevent an infestation in your garden. Now again, another thing it does, it actually works on the reproductive system of these pests, making it more difficult for them to lay eggs. Again, another control of infestation in your garden. So now I have my container. So what you do with neem oil is I would use a teaspoon to every 1 liter. And it's always best to actually have it in a sun-proof container like this, because basically is that if you do leave your neem oil mix out, is that it does actually it doesn't last that longer. So having it in a sun-proof container, it will make it last longer. Now let me put this down. Now, so what we've gone back and said is that you use 1 teaspoon to 1 liter of neem oil. Now, the water should be lukewarm. Now, in order for the oil and the water to mix, you need to have at least use some dishwashing soap, because it acts as an emulsifier. So it actually makes the oil, the water, and a bit of soap, it makes it mix well. Now, the thing is that also, as I mentioned before, neem doesn't preserve for a long time. So if you're using this mix onto your garden, just do what you actually need. Because if you make a large quantity and then you don't utilize it, what happens is the neem mix will go to waste. Now, before you use the neem oil, what I would recommend is that I would actually do a test on it on one of your leaves or different plants on their leaves, because you don't want to have a situation that you automatically go to your plant, spray the neem oil, and it's too strong for the foliage. So I would actually do a test and wait 24 hours, and once you see the result and it's good, then I would continue using it on that foliage. If you are using your neem oil mix, make sure it's not if you're expecting the rains to happen, because what would happen is that if you do spray your plant and it rains, what happens is the neem oil is not effective because it needs to actually sit on the plant tissue. Now, another thing is that we know that mealybugs and white flies and all these pests, what they do is they actually work on the underside of your plants. Now, when you do your spraying, always make sure you do spray the underside of your plant, because that's where the babies are, that's where the infestation is. So just make sure you go underneath. Another thing is that while you're spraying your neem oil mix, do spray the soil, because sometimes those larvae are in the soil, and in order to have a total eradication of that particular pest, you need to spray the soil and kill those pests that are situated there. Now, as we've seen in many of my episodes, when I do use the neem oil, I always do emphasize that what you need to do is every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks, do continue spraying, because what happens is it doesn't really eradicate it straight away. What you need to do is, over a period of time, while the mealybug or the white fly is still laying its eggs, you need to spray every 2-3 weeks so that you totally eradicate that pest. The last tip is that if you do have your seedlings or your young plants, try not to spray it, because what happens is that sometimes when they're very juvenile is that it will absorb the neem oil and do affect their roots or their buds. Other than that, I think, I hope I've given you enough tips on a neem oil mixture as a pesticide. Do go and try it. So, fellow gardeners, thank you for sharing with me and being part of this episode. And don't forget to like and share and subscribe to my channel. It means a lot. Don't forget to press that notification button. And also do send me your comments. I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube, and I do love receiving these messages, and I do always answer. And do go and get yourself some neem oil and do your mix, which we will put below, how to mix your portions. But and always let me know if you've used neem oil and how it has worked in your garden. Let's start sharing. Thank you so much and have a lovely day.